like to welcome you back to the Bloody Fork Homestead. One of the things I've been thinking about lately concerns moving to the country. In our case, it was moving to the mountains. We decided we already lived in the country in South Carolina, not far from Newberry, South Carolina, up above Columbia, about 30 miles. We lived on 5 acres, and that's kind of where we started some of our homesteading experience, particularly with animals. We got our first Great Pyrenees dog and some goats and chickens, and we were going to do the homestead thing. I was also working in Irmo, South Carolina as a facility supervisor at a school, but we ventured out into our homesteading experience. From there, I was going through the real estate ads on Zillow or somewhere, and that's dangerous to do, by the way. Be careful when you do that. But I was going through that, and I saw a home advertised in Burnsville, North Carolina. And we love the mountains. We lived outside of Colorado Springs when we were first married, right across the street from the Garden of the Gods. Loved the mountains there, and loved the mountains where we are now. So we looked at it. It was close to our anniversary time. We wanted to go on a little trip anyway, so we packed it up and we came to Burnsville and looked at this place. This place has 9 acres, and it had some real problems. Our real estate agent, she said that she showed the property here many times, and they were just waiting for the right sucker to come along. I guess that happened to be us. No, seriously, the house was not in great shape and had some real issues, but the barn was good, and the detached garage is good, and there was some acreage that could be cleared, and we could do some farming here on a small scale. We live in the mountains, though. I mean, it's all slanted. But we decided to bite the bullet and move to North Carolina in the mountains, and that was a big switch. I was retiring at that time, retiring early. I was in my 60s, and so we decided to do the big move. You know, there's some important considerations, and I see this now, where people, they move into this area. Many young people are, and it's great to see. They want to start a new chapter in their lives. But there are some considerations before you make a big move, particularly to a more rural area, an area where it's away from the city, and especially for us, we are out in the mountains, and it's a good 20-25 minutes to get gasoline. So there are some considerations. One is, can you work from home? And if you're planning on doing any work on a computer or that kind of thing, what's the internet service like? That's an important consideration. You know, and many people can do that now. They can work from the home. But if you're dependent on the computer and fast internet service, you better make sure you have that available to you. One of the things we found out here was we have fiber optic internet service on our pole. And we applied for service in September of 2019. And you know when we got the service? It was last week. In the meantime, we had internet service through the phone line, and it was slow. If I was to upload this particular video, it might take 6-8 hours to upload it. One important consideration is, do you have good internet service if you work from the home? You may be able to work from the home on your computer, but it won't do you much good if you can't have good service to go back and forth with Zoom and different programs that you might be using. So important. Another important consideration is what kind of support network are you going to have where you're moving to? If you're moving away from family and friends, when you get to the new community, what kind of support network are you going to have? And what kind of opportunities, if you have children, will they have to make friends or to interact? Your social life is so important, your community. Some people can do that through church, and church might be a good outlet for that. But there's other opportunities to meet with groups, to have friends. It's so important to have a supportive community for family and friends to come together. One of the things that we enjoy doing, and it's probably the primary reason that we do it, is we do the farmers market. We set up our little structure there, and we put out some fruits and mostly vegetables right now. We're trying to have more fruits as time goes on. But what's the most exciting part of that is being able to meet friends or being able to see people. We've seen many couples or families that have just moved here from somewhere else, from California, from Chicago, from Missouri, different places, and it's been exciting to see them. They're full of enthusiasm when they get here, but they want to network with people. And farmers market is just one way to do that. There's other ways of doing that in our community. There's different ways to network, and that's so important to be able to do that. Speaking of people that have moved here, one couple that we met, he is a captain of a yacht. And you wonder, well, here we are, we're in the mountains. Where's the yacht going to be? Is it going to be down our little river here? No, his wife is able to work from the home, and he goes out on stints where he might be gone for weeks at a time when he's a captain on the yacht. And they decided they were going to move here to the mountains. And it's great today because a lot of people have that kind of flexibility. They can work from the home and be able to enjoy the amenities that we have here. And there's many of them from living in the mountains. But it's important to have your eyes wide open, to consider people's experiences that have made the move to the mountains or to a different place, from the city to the country. You need to LFOPM, and also LFOPS. What is LFOPM? It's learn from other people's mistakes. For those of us who have moved to the country, we have plenty of them to share with you. Our mistakes. We've made lots of them. And one of the great things about YouTube is you can share some of the stupid things that you've done. But you can also share your successes. There's many successes. There's people that have made the move who are prospering in the country. Their gardens are doing well. They're doing maybe a farmer's market, or they're trying to make a living on the land, and they're doing well. It's encouraging to see that. But learn from other people's mistakes. We have friends that it broke our heart that built a place here. One of the things that happened was right after they got their house built, there was an avalanche, and it shifted the whole house, and their house was moved. They were in the house at that time, but thank the Lord they were safe. But one of the things that happened, unfortunately, was the mountain decided to slide into their newly built house. I know he'll tell you, one of the things that you should do is make sure you have a geological study if you're going to build in the mountains. Speaking of which, many people move here and they may buy a fixer-upper or they want to build a house, But one of the things you have to consider are contractors. Many contractors in this area are marginal when it comes to a skill level, and those who have good skill level, they're very busy. And if they're good at it, they're going to put you off. You're going to get put on a list. But keep that in mind. If you're wanting to renovate a place, or if you're wanting to build a place, it's going to be very difficult to get a good contractor. But learn from other people's mistakes and also their successes. One of the great things we can do with each other on YouTube is to share our mistakes and also share our successes, because we have both. We've had our times, we've had our ups and downs, and things happen. Something hits the fan, but you ask, is it worth it? Is it worth it moving to a rural area in the mountains? And I would say absolutely yes. I have real concerns about living in the city. I think we need to be able to take our future into our own hands, be able to provide for ourselves. I have concerns about what's going on in our culture, the divisions that we're experiencing all over the place, and the potential violence that we're going to have. It's important to have a place to go that's safe. It's important for you, for your family, to be in a safe place where you and your family can thrive. Just a little ranting about having some considerations about moving, and to do it with your eyes wide open. There's some important things to keep in mind.